In Greek mythology, there is a goddess so powerful that even Zeus, ruler of Olympus, feared her. Her name is Nyx, the primordial goddess of night. But have you ever heard the story of her extraordinary children, beings whose powers helped shape the ancient Greek world? First came Nemesis, the goddess of retribution. She was the one who ensured that everyone received exactly what they deserved, whether it be reward or punishment. She was brought into the world to keep balance, punishing mortals whenever they became too arrogant. Second, Hypnos, the god of sleep, was seen by the Greeks as a gentle, calming force who brought rest to gods and mortals alike. He was a peaceful, necessary power who could lull even Zeus into slumber. Beside him walked Thanatos, the god of peaceful death. Mortals feared him, but he was not cruel. He was simply inevitable, guiding souls to the afterlife with a gentle, steady hand. Then came Moros, the very embodiment of doom. He wove fate into the threads of existence, ensuring that every life followed the path the cosmos had decreed. Next was Eris, the goddess of discord, spreading chaos wherever she went. With a single golden apple, she set Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite against one another, igniting the chain of events that led to the legendary Trojan War. And finally, the most mysterious of all, the Moirai, the three fates who weaved the fate of every mortal. Clotho spun the thread of life, Lachesis measured it, and Atropos cut it with her shears. Not even the gods escaped their decree. Meet the 5 craziest creatures of Greek mythology. Fifth, Medusa, the monstrous Gorgon with living snakes for hair and a petrifying gaze that could turn any man to stone, was once a stunning priestess serving in Athena's temple. But when the lord of the sea, Poseidon, forced himself upon her within those sacred walls, Athena cursed her beautiful maiden. Fourth, Argus Panoptes, the 100-eyed giant, was the perfect guardian. While some of his eyes slept, the rest stayed ever watchful. But when Hera, queen of the gods, charged him with guarding one of Zeus's hidden lovers, he was slain by the god Hermes. To honor her loyal watchman, Hera gathered his many eyes and set them into the feathers of her sacred bird, the peacock. Third, Pegasus, the majestic winged horse born from the blood of Medusa after the hero Perseus beheaded her. Later, the hero Bellerophon became its rider, and together they carved their name into legend. After Bellerophon's death, Pegasus soared to Olympus, where Zeus appointed him the mighty bearer of his thunderbolts. Second, the Minotaur, a terrifying half-man, half-bull. When King Minos angered Poseidon, the god cursed his wife, Pasiphae, to fall obsessively in love with a sacred Cretan bull. From this unnatural union, the Minotaur was born, confined to the labyrinth where each year he devoured Athenian youths, until the hero Theseus finally ended his reign of terror. First, Scylla, a monstrous sea creature that hunted sailors in the narrow straits. Once a beautiful sea nymph, she caught the eye of Poseidon, but his jealous queen Amphitrite cursed her, transforming her into a terrifying woman with a serpentine lower body and multiple snapping dog-like heads. In Greek mythology, the legendary king Agamemnon sacrificed his own beloved daughter. But what could drive a father to commit such a cruel act? Long ago, the Greek armies gathered to sail for Troy. Thousands of warriors, the greatest fleet the world had ever seen, waiting at the harbor of Aulis. But all of a sudden, the winds died. Day after day, the ships sat motionless, creaking against the shore. The soldiers grew restless, whispering that the gods were angry. But it was Agamemnon, the leader of the great Greek army, who was to blame for this. He had angered the goddess Artemis by slaying a deer sacred to her. When the seer Calchas declared that the goddess demanded a terrible price, the life of his daughter, Iphigenia, Agamemnon was struck speechless. At first, he refused, but soon Artemis unleashed her plague arrows. Disease swept through the camp like wildfire. The other Greek kings grew frustrated, realizing that all their sacrifices might be for nothing and the war could end before it had even begun. But then, Agamemnon made the impossible choice. The war must go on. A message was sent to Iphigenia, telling her she was to marry the hero Achilles. She arrived joyfully, only to discover the altar waiting instead of a wedding. As the priests lifted the knife and the army held its breath, Iphigenia stood tall, embracing her fate for the sake of Greece. But just as the blade flashed, Artemis intervened. In a whirl of divine wind, the goddess spirited the girl away, replacing her with a deer. The sacrifice was accepted, the winds returned, and the ships finally sailed for Troy.
What if I told you that everything you heard about Greek mythology is real? Welcome to Camp Half-Blood. You are a demigod, child of the mighty Poseidon. Here is your room. I know all of this is probably overwhelming, but while you're at camp, you must follow these rules. First, never wander the forest alone after sundown. The trees whisper like the Oracle of Delphi, and shadows shift like the shades of Hades. Some things in the dark hunger for demigods. Second, do not touch forbidden relics or cursed artifacts. Weapons of Achilles, cursed shields, and relics from the Titans have wills of their own. Curiosity could summon monsters from myth, or worse. Third, obey the boundaries of the camp. The walls are guarded by more than mere magic. They hold back dark creatures, from relentless furies to blood-hunting minotaurs, all drawn by the scent of demigods. Fourth, never venture beyond the mountains. That is the land of the Cyclopes, giants of ancient wrath, cunning, and cruel. They do not welcome demigods, and those who trespass rarely return. And lastly, stay sharp in battle. You will train here until you are ready for your first quest. Monsters of myth are clever, immortal, and merciless. Medusa's gaze, the Hydra's heads, the Chimera, none will show mercy. It's time to go out there and carve your name into legend. Good luck, young demigod.